Oh, hey, what's up, Cosmic Earthlings? My name is Nadia, and I give you very grounded, approachable, practical ways to work with the planets, work with the cosmos, understand, align, and flow, and make the planets work for you. Work with them. Less resistance, more flow. Let's get into it. Thanks for being here. So we have the solar eclipse in Libra. Solar eclipses always occur on a new moon, and the eclipse portion happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, which is kind of a metaphor in itself because it temporarily blocks out the sun's glow, which makes things dark, right? But there's a ring around the edges, so any shadows might come up, but there's still a light at the end of the tunnel. Moments of confusion, moments of dark, right? Deep rest, needing to slow down. New moons are usually a time to plant seeds, but with a solar eclipse, if it feels good for you, cool, plant some seeds. But more so, really reflect on what this cycle is bringing up from you. What has been coming up from the dark for you? What has kind of been bubbling up into your awareness? You know, what's kind of been swirling in that mind of yours? What's been swirling coming up from the heart? And this solar eclipse is in the sign of Libra, and Libra rules over partnerships. Libra is so social and loves deep one-on-one connections, thrives with it. It's contracts, you know, it's like those deep, intimate relationships, or business, or that just hold value, lots of value. But more importantly, with this eclipse season, you might notice changes in relationships where they need to be revamped or reevaluated, or certain things need to shift in the relationship, or certain things come to light. You notice things. Relationships might be falling away here. This is not doom and gloom, I'm just saying. Or you might be noticing dynamics within relationships. And more importantly, the relationship to focus on most of all is the one with yourself, because that reflects into everything out in your life. And with this solar eclipse in Libra, really, really reflect on your relationship with yourself. You know, where are you still wearing masks? Where are you still dimming? Where are you still people pleasing or putting others first, or your own goals, your own tasks, you know, your own desires and joys and whatever it is? Are you putting those things aside for more space for others? And yes, there is a healthy give and take with relationships of all kinds, but Libra, it's balance, it's the scales. Are you leaning too much towards the others, so much so that you lose yourself? You're not doing the things that keep you as you, that make you you. This is especially potent right now because this solar eclipse in Libra is occurring next to the South Node, and the South Node is everything that we are to be releasing, everything that we are to be letting go of, to evolve into the next version of ourselves, into the next best version. Like, we're continuously evolving. So there's certain aspects of ourselves that we're being asked to shed. And with the South Node being in the sign of Libra, it's all the shadow sides of Libra. And every zodiac sign has a shadow. So it's the people pleasing, it's the conforming, it's the dimming, it's being indecisive because you don't know what you want because you're so worried about the other. You don't want to affect the other. You don't want to create conflict. You don't want to create upheaval. But it's really, really important to let that go. If that is a habit, if that is a pattern of yours, and you are really noticing it now in this eclipse cycle, what patterns, what habits do you need to release? Do you need to let go? What thought forms, what limiting beliefs? And I'm going to sound like a broken record if you've watched any of my other videos, but that's because this energy has been so strong because of the moon's nodes and the South Node being in Libra. The North Node is in Aries, which is very independent, you know, I, me, and not in a selfish way, but in a very healthy way, because everything, like I said, starts with you. You know the quote, it begins from within. That leads and trickles out into everything. So think of Libra and the South Node being right next to each other with this eclipse and the South Node happening together. Think of it like a snake shedding its skin. What version of you, what habits do you need to let go of? And especially when it comes to how you show up for others. Do you aim to please? Do you aim to keep the peace? Do you aim to keep things comfortable for both you and them? You know, there is a way to be assertive and diplomatic. That's very Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus. So there is a way to bring in these Venusian qualities and hold yourself center and stay very aligned. You know, no need to attack the other if you've been overgiving or stand up for yourself in such a rough way. Like, yeah, there's a time and a place, but you can put yourself first in a very Venusian way, in a way that, no, I need to do this because I love myself, and it further makes me available and open and more get to give to you to further love you, whoever that is, your family, your friends, colleagues, your work. You know, if you're just pouring into your work and you never give back to yourself, you burn out. So there's so many different ways that this can play out in your life, and really look at that more so than you look at the relationships. Yes, relationships are a huge part, and you'll see where certain things need to be tweaked. You know, do you still have high walls in your relationship? Are you still really protective? Do you need to open more? Like, where is the balance at in your relationship? But more so, this eclipse is really about you, yourself. How is your relationship to you? You know, how is that comfortability factor? Do you let things kind of be uncomfortable? Do you stand in your truth? Do you know what your truth is? Do you let that lead? Do you stay true to that true north of yours and honor that? This is who I am. This is how I show up. This solar eclipse is really potent in asking us to release the masks. Like, we don't have time for the masks anymore. Do the things that are uncomfortable. Do the things that you really desire to be doing if you're not doing them. If you're really feeling the nudges, they can be big things, big decisions, or they can be really small. Whatever they are for you, allow yourself to take action on them. Allow yourself to play with them, to be curious, to start to invite them in, and notice any masks or anything that you're doing, any actions, any habits, any thought patterns that you're doing to push that version of you away. It's time to stop doing that. Stick around for the end of the video too. I'll have a brief little guided meditation infused with Reiki. And another aspect that really correlates with all of this and just further infuses this potency is that Lilith is also taking the stage with the South Node and occurring right next to the eclipse, the solar eclipse. Lilith is an asteroid, and she represents all of the deeper, darker aspects of ourselves that either get shamed, that are quote unquote, you know, bad or darker. You know, it's our very wild, untamed aspect of ourself. And it's all the ways that you dim yourself or suppress certain things because it's not socially acceptable, or you're just so terrified of what others are going to think of you and how you're going to be perceived if you let this side of you that's there, you know, whatever it is that you're really not letting come out, if you let that be free, if you let that be part of your truth, part of your authentic self, that can be terrifying. That can be really scary, because a version of you that maybe people don't really know is open to be judged, to be talked about, all the things, right? But this moon, this solar eclipse cycle, is asking us to integrate that in. That wild, untamed, the deep, murky waters, whether you have really dark, sarcastic humor and you kind of like don't let that shine, or you're a really sexual person and you don't really let that shine. You know, there's ways to be sexual healthily and let that come out in your personality without crossing too many borders or boundaries, not borders. So integrate Lilith energy under this solar eclipse. Bring her out from the shadows and sit with the shadows. The moon is dark. Let yourself slow down, you know, going, staying in the momentum. That can be a defense mechanism as well. That can be a pattern of yours that you don't even realize, because maybe there's something that you don't want to acknowledge. Maybe there's a truth that you're denying, or an aspect of yourself that you're just kind of afraid to sit with, or you get anxious when you sit with yourself. But that's when the deep truths bubble up. Just watch your mind, observe your mind when you just sit and let yourself slow down and rest. What bubbles up from you? And once you kind of clear through all the things that start to sift up in your mind when you slow down, once you clear through that, or at least create some space in your mind, then sit with yourself and just observe yourself and try to be as compassionate and the least judgmental as possible to yourself. And think, ponder, what truths am I hiding? What do I want to do that I'm not doing? What am I dimming because I'm scared of how my partner is going to react or not doing, or how my friends are going to think of me? What do I want to change about myself? What do I want to invite in? What do I want to explore? What am I curious about? What do I think I love? What do I want to explore that I love? Whether it's art and hobbies or a person. Really let yourself be open to these areas, and then let this be, you don't have to figure it out all right away, but let this be a trickling effect in this eclipse cycle. We've got a ways to go. We're heading into 2025 with it. So you've got time to integrate this. But right now it's just really potent. So if you sit with it while the energy is just, heightened and you're like, what is happening? Well, watch this video. Now you understand. And then sit with it and then set the intention to understand this and ask what you need to bubble up from the shadows to come out, or, who do I want to be? Maybe you're unsure. Maybe you're not really hiding anything, but you're not really sure who you want to be. Start to play around with that in itself. Who do I want to show up as? What stamp do I want to leave on the world? Or even if you don't want to leave a big impact, that's not your thing. Just what do you want to be known for? How do you want people to perceive you without worrying so much about how people care about you, because there's always going to be things swirling there. It's more so just how, when people think of you, like, what's the image? What's the word that you want to come to their mind? And it doesn't matter so much how much that resonates with them. It's more so how that resonates with you. How do you want to see yourself? How do you want to be? What is the essence that you want to carry? And start to really play with those seeds. Really play with them. Integrate them into your everyday. And we'll get into that with this meditation. That's really it for the astrology portion of this. I don't go too deep into all the aspects and everything. I kind of lay them out in a way that's easy to grasp and an easy way to kind of understand the undercurrent of what's happening. So please, if you're still here, can you please like this video? I hate to ask, it feels so weird and unnatural, but it really does help me out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and also share this video, comment on it, and share it with someone who you think would dig it. It'll help me out, and it'll help them out if they receive the energy and get anything from it. Okay, so for the meditation portion, get yourself nice and cozy, light a candle if you want. If you have incense, anything you want to burn, go ahead and burn them. And open yourself up, set the intention to open yourself up to receive Reiki. Time, space, distance, technology, it doesn't got nothing on Reiki. Reiki will still reach you. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me personally, and I have an FAQs page linked down below too if you have more questions. So you can either stay seated or lie down if that feels better for you. You don't have to stare at the screen to receive. You don't have to watch me. Just tune in, listen, vibe out. Close your eyes. Soften through your eyes and soften through your jaw. Let out an exhale. Feel your shoulders melt. Fully empty out, completely empty out. Invite in a fresh new inhale and fill up your body. Take a full inhale, no rush to get to the top of the breath. And then exhale, let that go, slowly empty out. Do that again at your own pace. Breathe in an inhale and swirl your breath throughout your body, through your front body, through your back body. Swirl it around within you. Exhale, let that go. One more time, take an inhale. Breathe in your life force energy and swirl that within and around you. No rush to get to the top of the breath, using this as a tool to turn on your inner awareness. And exhale, let that go. Keep your eyes closed and let yourself sink and settle in here. I want you to imagine that you are sitting in front of a mirror. And immediately, what comes up for you? What was the first thought? Sit with that. Now, with your eyes closed and your awareness turned inward, imagine that you are staring at a mirror. And what is coming up for you right now? What are the thoughts about everything? Your image, your habits. No judgments, don't be mean, just observe yourself. And if the thoughts are mean, just observe them without any attachment. How do you see yourself? Truly, truly look at yourself right now. And sit with all of this. Just notice. Just simply notice. Now I want you to imagine that you're fogging up this mirror and you can no longer see yourself. You can't see your reflection. And I want you to now, you still can't see the mirror, it's still foggy. Think of anything you're repressing within yourself. Dreams, goals, desires, personality traits you're not letting be seen. And start to feel them bubble up and notice if it feels scary for them to be seen, for them to come out. Notice what's coming up for you, and whatever it is, breathe through it. Just notice it. Just simply observe. Let yourself be curious. Let yourself be playful. And now I want you to imagine that you're wiping the mirror so you can see your reflection again. And with as much love and as much compassion as you possibly can, look at yourself and really let yourself be seen. With all of these traits that you might dim or repress. How do you view yourself? And if you're unsure, how does it feel to look at yourself with the true curiosity of your truth? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel scary? There is no good or bad. What is coming up for you? And give yourself some space to just sit with that. And be curious. Be genuinely curious. The same way you are when you have a crush on someone, when you have a new friend and you just want to hang out and get to know them. That same curiosity, extend that to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror in your mind's eye and smile with a pure, genuine curiosity. What is your truth? How do you want to show up? And if you let everything that you don't need, all the ways you hold yourself back, dim yourself, if you let all of that fall away, how would you feel? Now, how would you look at yourself in the mirror? And sit with that. Don't judge it. Just sit with everything that is coming up. And breathe through it. Breathe through the emotions that are bubbling up within your body. breathe through the thoughts that are taking place in your mind. And come back to that soft space of being with your breath and softening through the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders. Thank yourself, genuinely thank yourself for looking at yourself so deeply, for getting so curious with who you are, for prioritizing your most important relationship, which is your relationship with yourself. And in whatever way feels good to you to close out this practice, you can bring your hands together at heart center, bow your head to your heart if that feels nice, bow your brain to your heart, to your body, and your breath is the wisdom that links the two. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, lift your head. So I invite you to practice this guided meditation however many times feels good to you throughout this eclipse cycle. And like I said, this is going all the way into 2025. So you've got time to really work with this energy. So maybe you start with this and then you work up the nerve to actually do it in front of a mirror. I invite you to play with this in whatever way feels good for you. Write something that makes you think of this down on a sticky note. Put a note, a reminder in your phone. Something that makes this a practice that you integrate into your everyday. Doesn't take long. This took maybe 5 minutes. Start to integrate this to tap into what is my truth? What do I want to let be seen? What do I want to let be known, regardless of whatever it might stir up in my environment and people around me. And if it feels right, if you're a writer, take the time to journal about whatever came up for you and really plant those seeds of curiosity. If you let go and figured out what you need to let go of, who would come in? Who is the next version of you that you would be? Really let yourself embody this. Wisdom is amazing to have, but wisdom isn't anything if we don't embody what we know or what we learn, right? So I invite you on this journey with me. I'm doing this right there with you, and it's not easy. It's terrifying. It's scary. These YouTube videos don't come, I'm so afraid of people judging me for these YouTube videos, and I've just been doing them and doing them and doing them, and some of them are not good, the video quality, the audio quality, but I just keep showing up and I keep learning as I go, and it's fun for me, so I'm just gonna keep doing it regardless. So whatever that thing is for you, whatever your YouTube video is, let that out, let that free, let that be seen. Again, thank you so much for being here. Leave me a comment, share what this brings up for you, whether you do this when this video comes out or something bubbles up for you later on down the line. I love to hear back from you guys, and not everyone leaves a comment because I know that's vulnerable and everyone can see. So if reaching out to me personally feels more aligned with you, cool, reach out to me personally. But if you could, please like this video, subscribe, or share it with people who you think that this would help. I don't do this for me, this is free. So share this with people who you think would really internalize this information and take it in and work with it. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Nadia. Thank you for being here, and I will see you all next time, friends.